behind Dexter, starting with executive producer Scott Buck. Executive producer Wendy West. Lieutenant Deborah Morgan, Jennifer Carpenter. This season's very special guest star, Miss Yvonne Strahovski. Dexter himself, star and executive producer Michael C. Hall. So that happened. Does Dexter really think she's going to buy that story? He hopes so. In that moment. What an amazing kickoff to season 7. I know, as always, it's hard for us to talk about the upcoming season because you can only talk about so much, but Yvonne, and I know this is the hardest question of the day you're going to get, can you talk a little bit about who you played in season 7 coming up?
Yes, I can talk a little bit.
Oh, good.
Just
That's better than usual. Colin Hanks told us nothing last year.
Well, I thought I'd start on a positive, even though I'm probably lying and I really can't tell anything. I play Hannah McKay, who is a woman of mystery with a dark past. What a surprise. And she meets Dexter and helps him with an investigation in an old murder mystery, I guess. Yeah.
All right.
That is all.
That's good. Jennifer, does Deb know what's going on now, do you think? At this point? After what she saw?
I mean, I think she's, no, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, no, she's taking one step at a time and takes one step forward and sent 10 back and it just keeps charging on. Like,
It is, I guess, unfortunate timing since you just discovered that you sort of are in love with your brother to find that he...
Well, you know, I think that it's important to start off a job with a secret, right, that you don't share with your cast members or with any of the writers, that it's your own thing. And there was certainly a fascination that I thought that Deb had with Dexter, some sort of pull that she felt to him, so it didn't feel like it was so bizarre to play that last season. She is the only past, he is the only past that she has, so it made some sort of sense, and maybe it allows for slight allowances this year, but it's, I think him stabbing somebody trumps those thoughts.
That's a deal breaker for most relationships. Scott and Wendy, did you find that you guys had sort of painted yourself into a corner at the end of last season with that moment?
No, not at all. I mean, we very much knew where we were going at the time and just felt like it was time to finally start telling that story that had been in the back of our minds for a long time.
I guess we all sort of knew he couldn't keep that secret forever from Deb, right?
Absolutely.
And this does open up a cornucopia of possibilities dramatically, I guess, for all the characters involved.
It does. It's just the opposite of painting us into a corner. Actually, it opens up so many more stories and avenues for us to go down.
Well, I know a lot of you folks out there have questions for these guys, so why don't we start taking some questions?
Hi. First of all, I just want to say I'm a really, really big fan of the show. My question for Michael and Jennifer is if your character from season 7 can tell your character anything from season 1, like give them any advice, what would it be?
Don't make any friends. Yvonne, what's it like to be a guest star on the show, to come on to a moving train like Dexter every 6 seasons and you have to jump on and sort of dive right in?
It's interesting. I've never been a guest on a television show, so I feel very excited to be a part of such a great show.
with wonderful actors and wonderful fans. But everyone has been very lovely and welcoming, and hi. Yeah, and we planned this today too, so I thought I'd copy Jennifer.
I didn't get the memo. Okay, what's your question? Were you surprised you were dressed as Nightwing? Did you know that when you left the house today?
Well, basically, I wanted to say that I'm a big fan about how you've been able to take the source material from Jeff Lindsay's novels and play with them, have the writers play with them season after season and develop the characters further. My question was basically asking everybody what their favorite things that the actors have brought to the characters over the seasons.
I guess that'd be a question for Scott and Wendy, really. How much of the actors do you discover as you're shooting and then add that into the characters when you're working with them?
Because we know specifically who we're writing for. I mean, I know I'm writing for Michael, I know I'm writing for Jennifer, and I know basically what I think they're going to bring to it, which is always, I mean, the surprises, they always bring a little bit more than I hope for, so it just constantly builds on that.
I also think what's surprising is our actors bring a lot of joy. My favorite moment, I think, between Lithgow and Michael was during the Thanksgiving dinner. Like, you know, there's this moment where Dexter sort of grabs Trinity, but after every time they yell cut, they just broke into laughter. And it was like the craziest, funnest, strangest Thanksgiving dinner ever that was never, ever imagined to be part of the scene. So it's a lot of fun, strangely.
People talk about the source material with the books. Is there really any connection any longer between the series and the books? It doesn't seem like that to me. It's become its own vessel now. Yeah.
We had the rights to the first two books, and we have specifically avoided reading.
Gotcha. Great. What's your question?
Hi, my question is for Michael. How would you feel about a music episode? Also, can I have your name card?
Sure, if you can have my name card. Oh, all right. See, all you gotta do is ask. As far as the music episode goes, maybe. I've always thought it would be fun in the final season to do actually 12 finales, like 12 different versions of how it ends, and maybe one of those 12 would be a musical episode, but I don't think either of those things will actually happen.
I think a Broadway musical, Dexter, exclamation point. That would be an easy transition to make. You have a question?
Yes, well first Jennifer, you kick ass. But my question's for Michael. I don't know how as an actor how do you find that line between Dexter emotionally reacting to the people around him, but still being a true sociopath who would be unemotional?
Right. I mean, I think that is the continual challenge of the job, you know, of the acting job I have, to continue to have him in some way that feels conceivable, at least get better at seeming to experience or simulating human behavior or having undeniably authentic human responses to things, but also maintaining what we believe is an undeniable compulsion to kill people. So that's tricky. What I like about the new landscape that we have now that Deb knows is we see that that Dexter has learned to be human, not just in shiny, happy ways, but in ways that are maybe representative of the darker side of what it is to be human, manipulative, paranoid, self-serving, but still very likable.
Do you think because Dexter's darkness seems to be alluded to the fact that it comes from a trauma as opposed to sort of a biochemical thing, allows you a little bit more wiggle room there where you can sort of let some humanity slip in?
Yeah, I think that coupled with the fact that his father had a unique parenting style and that Dexter he's not the only one who's implicated in how he is, and I think that provides some wiggle room too.
I can't wait to see Harry's reaction to what's going on between you two now.
Yeah, he's not.
What's your question?
Hey, hi, my name is Ruthie, and I love the show. And my question is for Michael. I was gonna ask, in what ways are you and Dexter alike?
Yeah. We look a lot alike.
That's it.
Oh boy. I think he's definitely a lot more fastidious than I am. I don't really pick up after myself as well as he does. That wasn't the question. I don't know. I mean, it's a tricky thing to play a character this long, and I think inevitably, as somebody said earlier, the writers start to write not just for the characters, but for the actors who are playing them. So I try not to spend too much time assessing the parallels between Dexter and me. Otherwise, I'd go even crazier.
Jennifer, that's a good question, I think, for you, too. Any similarities between you and Deb, do you think?
I think earlier on, I think she and I were a lot alike, and that we were both agreeing and figuring it all out. I think I've learned a lot from the character to get to the lessons faster. Once you know something, then you know it and make decisions, be confident, and move on to the next thing. So I'd like to think that hopefully we're sort of going different ways now, but I'm still learning a lot from it. So I don't know. I like you said, like I don't think you can ever actually pull it apart. We share the same voice, the same audience. It's hard to say.
I think of all the characters, season 6 had the biggest changes for Deb. I mean, the promotion and having to go through the pressure of that and dealing with the politics in the office, plus your feelings for your brother, and I mean, just leaps and bounds in growth in that character. Will we see this season, without giving away too much, sort of a trial by fire? Will this harden her or break her? Will we just explore that?
I think if anything, she's, it's not that she's shying away from the power that she has, her authority, but she actually needs it. It's the one card that she has to play, and it's also the card that will protect and save her. You know, at any second, if I live after what we just saw, at any second, you know, I can tell someone to put cuffs on him, and I think he knows that. So it's like we're just fish kind of swimming like this for a little while. That makes sense. I'm an actor.
For Scott and Wendy, last year's theme obviously was spirituality, religion played a large part. Is there an overreaching theme in season 7 that we can discuss without giving too much away?
There is, and it's really the simplest theme of all, and it's what are the consequences of love, which you've seen in a million shows and a million movies, but told through the perspective of Dexter, it becomes something completely different.
Not a great track record with his love life. We know that much.
It's always so.
What's your question? Hi.
Hi, my name is Courtney, and my question is for Michael. Obviously, so many people love Dexter, just like my mom, who's too shy to come up here. But I wanted to know how it feels to play such a beloved character to so many people, and how personal Dexter is to each of the fans.
It feels amazing. I mean, it's of all the things that we do as far as publicity goes, this is really the most gratifying. And you know, because you guys are here because you like the show, not because somebody made you come and it's your job. But I almost am disinclined to even go there. It's sort of overwhelming to think of, you know, how many individual people project their entire world onto their idea of this character. I certainly have done that as the actor playing him, but I hope that, and I'm thrilled that the character is one that allows people to project their fears, hopes, dreams, fascinations. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing to play this part, for sure.
Michael, can you explain the success of the character? Because I remember when I first heard about it, before I watched an episode, they said they're doing a weekly series about this serial killer, and I said, I don't know if I want to spend every week with that guy. I was unsure whether I would like it as a fan or not. And yet, as I watched it, and as everyone in this room and millions around the world have watched it, it is a character that we've all fallen in love with, despite what he does. It doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be that way, and yet it is. Do you know why?
I think there are, a lot of different ways in which the show appeals to people and reasons that people identify with him or love him or what have you. But for me, I think we all have some sort of shadow side that we that we have to contend with and manage, and his is pretty heavy. And maybe we admire him for the unique responsibility he's taken, even though it's sort of outside the box. But that's just one. I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys can speak to that.
Scott, do you have an idea why it works? No.
Hi there. What's your question?
Hi. My question is, will Harry be in the next season, and in which way?
Harry will be in this season. We'll actually see original flashbacks from when Dexter was a child, but we'll also continue to see him in Dexter's subconscious.
Great. There you go. Your question?
Hi, my name's Cody. I've been on a huge binge of Dexter ever since I knew I was going to be here. I love your show. And since season 1, both Dex and Deb have been evolving emotionally completely. And how do you think they're going to evolve in season 7?
I think this is the first year where I don't know if I should say I or we, Deb and I, have felt lost. Like there's no compass. I've never moved with such uncertainty through every line, through every fucking bad word. It's like So in a weird way, the tables feel like they've turned. Like Dexter's the one that moves with certainty, and I'm the one that is trapped in my fucking head. So, I don't know.
If there are kids in this panel, they got bigger problems than what you say. They've got parent issues because like a 10-year-old out there, we're all screwed. It's Dexter in the making. You know what? My favorite thing about the show the past couple seasons has been the exploration of Dexter as father. Will that be an element that we continue to see? I mean, now that Harrison's getting older and older and older, the stakes rise, you know?
Yeah, I think, as Harrison gets older, becomes more receptive, it becomes a dicier proposition every day. And the fact that someone who is also one of Harrison's guardians, Deb, now has a sense of what she's dealing with her brother, that it changes things as well. So he has someone who's really encouraging him to maybe face just what he's trying to pull off as a parent. But Harrison's still in the picture. Very cute.
Last season, we also saw a brand new source of vulnerability for Dexter, another way to get at Dexter through his son, which was just terrifying if you're a parent, and I think scared Dexter in maybe a new way too. You know?
Yeah, I don't think this point, well, I do. I think that actually Dexter's powers of denial are pretty strong, but I think he would be hard-pressed to really argue that being a serial killer is an ideal hobby for a parent.
Hi there, what's your question?
Hi, my name is Wapa. My question is for Michael. Personally, who has been your most satisfying kill on the show?
Personally? I mean, I gotta say that the biggest prize in terms of
Trinity.
the biggest prize would have to be Trinity. This was at that point the most prolific killer Dexter had ever killed. But you know, I've said it before, but they're like my children, really. I love you too.
Yvonne, I was wondering that the work on Chuck is so different than the work... The work on Chuck, the tone of Chuck as a show, very different from Dexter. And I was wondering if that posed certain challenges for you as an actress coming onto a show like Dexter, having spent so much time with Chuck in that world.
Yeah, it's a little different. Well, just in general, the energy on the sets are very different. There's a lot of loud sort of characters, as some of you know, on Chuck. It's a different energy on this set. Now, mind you, I've only spent several days so far on the set of Dexter, but yeah, I mean, what can I say? I mean, it's different, but it's really great and welcoming. It's just not so crazy song and dance kind of. Yeah, it's better. I'll just go say it's better. Dexter's better. I think I have to say that. How about the Dexter battle?
So you've only been shooting a few days so far?
Yeah, a few. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I'm scared of getting in trouble. There's lots of things I'm not allowed to say, but yes, I think a few days.
When you come into the show, do they give you the entire season's worth of arc, of idea of what's going to happen with your character, or do you have to work episode by episode?
No, they told me, yeah, they pretty much told me.
What your character, what happens with your character?
Yeah.
What happens with her?
Well, I actually thought I signed up for the musical season.
Hi there, what's your question?
Hello, I actually have two compliments and then a question, if that's all right. For Jennifer, I'm the daughter of a sailor, and I have heard quite a few swears in my day, but when you get up as Dexter Mormon, perfection.
You mean Deborah?
As for Michael C. Hall, just wanted to say I spent many years watching 6 Feet Under, and you moved me to tears, both out of laughter and out of sorrow. I expected to see that kind of acting when I watched Dexter, and you did not disappoint. Thank you. My question is, you've been Dexter now for 6 seasons. For 6 seasons, you get up in the morning and you go be a serial killer.
Yeah.
And after that many years, do you find that you have new methods or special methods to get into that character when you get there, and more importantly, leave that character there when you go home?
I think if you do something this long, you sort of know it on a cellular level, and you have to get out of its way as much as you have to do it. But I think the entry and the exit is maybe, I hope, a little more efficient or rapid, and yet the sort of insidious nature of having done it as long as I have will be something I probably only appreciate like 15 years from now. I'm trying to figure out why I can't stop. I'm just kidding.
Was it a struggle in the early days to get into his skin and to do it?
It was a different kind of struggle, you know. I mean, I think when you're doing a role for the first time, or in any other context as an actor, you're sort of asking yourself certain questions that have now, as we've all done this for a long time, that have now been answered. And so, when I say get out of its way, like sometimes your instincts can take over in a way that they can't quite take over when you're just encountering material or a character.
Right. Hi there, what's your question?
Hello, my name's Erica. And throughout the seasons, you've had multiple guest stars. Has there been one that you kind of say like, whoa, did I just work with him or with her?
Yeah. I mean, I was a big fan of the artist formerly known as Mos Def, probably him, you know. So, you know, I didn't even allow myself to get into what a fan I was of his music. But certainly John Lithgow, I mean, when I was riding in the van back from our first day of shooting, I thought, wow, I've really arrived somewhere. I'm in a band with John Lithgow.
Was it frustrating not to have a chance to work with Edward James Olmos?
Yes. I really wanted to actually see him.
What's your question?
Hi, my name is Shasha. Actually, Wendy, I knew you when I was about 10 years old because you were friends with my brother.
You're like your brother, aren't you?
Yes.
Shut up.
I'm sorry, she said shut up. You can't ask her questions.
Thank you for coming. Thanks everyone for coming, by the way. Thanks for lining up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate it.
I think that Masuka is one of the greatest characters. So I was wondering how you came up with him and if it's really sort of like just the actor or you wrote him that way.
I mean, he's so Masuka. He's such a pleasure to write for. I mean, you sort of look forward to those moments and scenes to give him any sort of line because he can make anything dirty, which is shocking and a revelation every time. But I mean, you know, the fun thing about Masuka is like learning little bits more about his personal life, you know, such as it is.
As writers, guys, do you have your favorite characters to write for? Do you look forward to certain scenes in a script or certain moments when you know you get to unleash with a certain character?
I mean, we like all the characters. They're all fun to write for. I mean, the show is Dexter, so of course Dexter is always the favorite.
Wendy?
Yes, it's very fun to do a kill scene. It's always very cathartic to write it. It's very cathartic to watch it. It's true. It's always fun to see, you know, what Jen can do with her cursing. How far you can go. I guess it's all fun. It's a great job. It's really fantastic. So. I also want to say a shout out to the rest of the writers. There's two here, Lauren and Scott, and the writers back in our office. They're probably working really hard right now. Tim and Jace and Erica and Karen and Minnie.
Hi there, what's your question?
Yes. My question's for Michael and Jennifer. When you guys first read the script for Dexter, I was wondering what your first impressions were of coming into a show that's so unique.
I didn't think it would go. I didn't think that a network would put a serial killer on TV and that people would watch it. So I thought I was just going to do the pilot.
I was like, this is never gonna work. But yeah, I don't know. I just finished doing another television series where I was surrounded by dead bodies in a very different context. So I was initially a little averse to the idea, but then after I looked at it a little more closely, I was like, what am I, a jerk? I mean, I'm definitely gonna do this. But yeah, I saw it as a challenge that I'd never encountered before. That's for sure.
Was part of the attraction for you, Michael, that Dexter was so different than David? It was such a departure that it was a little freeing to go the opposite direction?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even... that was a big part of it. I mean, it's so much so that I didn't even really think about David. Yeah.
Hi, what's your question?
I had a question since, the story takes place in Florida.
And with current events, are we going to see any sort of inclusion of the bath salts incident next season?
Any bath salts reference?
That might
Tell that story in a more horrifying way than it's already folded out.
You guys tend to shy away from true life events, right? You don't include many of them in any of the scripts that I can recall.
In general, yes.
Yeah.
Though, yeah. Suka does refer to a Twitter account. But stay tuned.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Your question?
Hi, my name is Spencer. How are you? My question is for Michael. I'm just wondering, what kind of reactions do you get from people on the street playing a character that's so dark but yet so likable?
People are, you know, they seem to recognize that it's a television show and are very, you know, if they take the time to say something, usually have something positive to say and then say they like the show and don't seem to think it's real. Some people are like, I have some people I want you to kill. And I say, don't, I'm not, that's not gonna happen. But yeah, it's usually pretty good.
That's the good side of fandom. Do you ever get disturbing letters, perhaps, where you're the poster boy for a certain class of person who looks up to Dexter in a certain unhealthy way?
No. I regret that I don't have more creepy, so, you know.
Creepy people out there. Please write Michael.
Yeah, not really.
We get a lot of mail from bail bondsmen, like repeatedly, like weird solicitations, like, "Hey, can you pass this on to Michael?" or "Hey, I think Dexter should go to this bail bondsman." Like piles of that. It's weird. Maybe it's more effective. I don't know.
Hi there. What's your question?
Hi there. I was wondering if there's any backstory behind the brown long-sleeved kill shirt. He wears the same one all the time.
Yeah, he gets some. I mean, there's no, I think, official backstory, but I imagine he must buy them in bulk.
Does he throw those in the ocean too, or does he wash them?
Yeah, it's like when the Incredible Hulk gets big and all his clothes rip.
And then the next thing they're back again.
He has to.
Hi there, what's your question?
Hi, sorry, I'm totally geeking out right now. Okay, I wanted to know, as actors, how do you guys go about picking those characters, you know, in movies or in TV shows? What, like, drives you to play them?
I don't pick. To audition.
I don't buy that for a minute. You're a big star in a big hit TV show. You must get offers all the time.
I like to like go in and attack. I like to go in and like for the parts that like start to open up and you can't stop thinking about them. That's when I know that I connect to them. Those are the ones that I chase in full sprint. But that's my answer.
I feel like, you know, as much as picking characters, it feels like they pick you sometimes.
Yvonne, you must have had a lot of offers once Chuck was over. What made you choose to do Dexter?
Well, actually, Scott called and we had a chat about Hannah, and it took me about a second to decide that it was probably a really great thing to do because it's such a fantastic show. And you guys are awesome on it, and the writing is amazing. So I'm super excited and proud to be on this show.
Scott, without giving too much away, what was it about Yvonne that made you think of her for Hannah? And we now know her name. We got something out of these people today.
I think there's a slightly mysterious quality about her. She may seem extremely likable. She may seem like a sweet girl. I'm just not sure, are you?
I know she lies about where she's from. I didn't know she had an accent until I met her backstage. I thought she was American all this time. It turns out she's not. People. Hi there, what's your question?
Hi there. My question is for MC Hall.
Thank you.
So Dexter is a character that has gone away with his fair share of lies over the years, and I'm wondering if you could share what you yourself, the worst lie you've ever told.
First lie I ever told.
The worst lie.
The worst lie I ever told.
You're amongst friends.
That was delicious.
Curses every other word, if you find yourself doing that more now as an actress or person outside of the show.
I did yesterday. I stopped myself. I was like, whoa. It's when we're in the middle of shooting, I drop an F-bomb like it's nothing. And I need to rein it back in. I've done it twice since I've been here, and it says do not do that.
A couple more questions. What's yours?
All right, I'm a huge fan, and my question's for Michael C. Hall. What is your favorite season and why?
What we're doing right now, because that's all there is, baby.
Do you still get excited going to work every morning, even after 7 seasons?
Yeah, excited, nervous, perplexed. Yeah.
We talked a little bit earlier about all the great guest stars that you've had over the years, another one this season. Does that add a fresh energy sometimes to the set that helps things when you're shooting?
Yeah, it's great that our show is set up in such a way that we can bring people in and have a new energy and a new relationship, or relationships every season. Yeah, it has a great deal to do with why it stays fresh for us.
For Scott and Wendy, it must be a luxury to have a show that's written as well as yours is and is acted as well as yours is, that when you call guest stars, people are probably very eager to do the show, right? Probably doesn't take a lot of convincing.
We do feel very fortunate because starting with season 1, the guest cast was pretty phenomenal, and that sort of alerted other people out there that guest cast can come on and make a very strong impact on the show.
Absolutely. Hi there, what's your question?
We have time for one more question.
Just one more? Okay.
Hi, I'm Kristen, and I'm a huge fan. And I just wanted to ask Michael and Jennifer, what are some embarrassing moments or scenes that you remember from the show?
Embarrassing moments on the set?
I remember in the first season, there was all the dead bodies, the pieces were wrapped up in the gold of the ice rink. You remember? Maybe. And we were out there on the ice shooting all day, and I was like, I'm gonna laugh so hard when somebody falls. So they say action, and I'm from the very back of the ice skating rink. I'm coming out to see what's happened, and I hit my head so hard that people could hear it outside, which explains a lot, doesn't it? But that was probably my most embarrassing thing. I'm just sad that I remember it.
One time I rammed this slice of life into a pier.
$1,000